Hello everyone, this is Ganesh, and I had a recent interaction with students from a college, engineering students who are in the last year. And what I felt is if we share certain insights with them, that will really help them, uh, perform well once they join any company that they are selected for, either for an internship or for a permanent job. So uh, I will be conducting such series the next few days or weeks and months, and I will keep on posting um, some examples, real life examples and case studies from the actual companies or the industry that we are working into. Like, let's say for an example, IT industry in my case. But I feel this can be used at any workplace. So using these techniques, definitely you would no longer be a fresher if you really understand these concepts. These are not very difficult to follow. Um, so we'll quickly start this series, and if you have any questions, you can comment or add a comment in the comment section or send me an email. I will try to cover those topics as well. So with this recent interaction, I felt yes, the students are good. They have a good amount of knowledge. Some of them really need to understand and practice the basics more, which I have given a feedback as well. And while we were recording this, when I say the basic concepts, uh, maybe you may or may not be using those technologies or languages currently. You might be using the latest whatever is there in the market. But the basics of OOPS programming or OOPS concept, we can say the basics of C++ and Java, object-oriented programming languages, that will really help you. Or any other language that you're learning now, try to understand the basics of that particular language. When I say, I'm trying to emphasize again and again on the basics. A simple example would be, let's say everyone knows, let's assume that we all know about polymorphism in Java or C++. Now, we all will tell a simple definition that one name, multiple form. And then we will, some are very good and they might also give a very good example, either of a car as a class, and then how, oh, that's inheritance, I mean, combined with polymorphism. So some people, some students will also give a very good example. Uh, but if you really try to understand why or what that concept means, then with that one example, you will be able to grasp and understand other concepts in a much better way, is what I personally feel. And my plan is also to conduct one session where we can take a simple example. So in my last interaction with the students, I also explained them about what is the meaning of a deep copy and a shallow copy. So that is also very important. Now, you might be using the latest of the latest technologies. You may or may not need these concepts to remember. But while you're studying in colleges, you have this as a part of your syllabus and curriculum. So what I feel is during those months and years, what you can do or one can do is take a very simple example. We don't have to understand all the concepts in one day. Take one example of one particular section that you're studying, try to understand in depth. Talk to your teachers or sit with your friends, colleagues. There are so many YouTube videos available. There are so many documents and PDFs and everything available. We have ChatGPT. We have all those different tools. Just search about that particular topic. Try to understand what they're saying. If you don't understand, then ask someone. Go through it. If you do this activity even for one particular section, I personally feel it will really help you understand all other concepts in a much uh, better way. So let's move ahead. Um, so what I have my notes with me from these sessions that I had, and I have quickly listed down these few topics which we will cover across the next few days. I also try to, I have done this during my office days where I used to groom and mentor the new joinees or the juniors, we can say. So so what I personally felt is sharing this experience really helps. Not everyone will like to follow this, But you can always think around this and create something new, or you might have something better. Then yes, definitely follow that. The goal here is just to learn and grow and evolve. um, my goal also is that you can make use of these things and make your life better. I personally believe in work-life balance. So these particular topics will be surrounding, or around those particular areas as well. But how you can also perform better in your office or your workplace or any other place that you're going to work or join. So uh, productivity and responsibility is what I have mentioned. So in this, what we can do is how one can work efficiently. Time management, focusing on task is also very important. So we can list down all the tasks that we're supposed to work on that particular day. I used to have my notepad every day. Some people use sticky notes. Some people use on their mobile. Some have the notes on their laptop. Use whatever you want. It's your personal choice. I would still recommend going back to the old days of writing, because that has some scientific background to it. And I'm not going to cover all these topics here, but you can search like what happens when you start writing. Because one of my mentors has told me in the last 1 or 2 years, but I have been using earlier. That time I did not know about what writing does. But I used to, so consider, I'm working since 2020, 20 years ago. So we have also had computer side, because we are computer engineers, we used to work on computers. But writing is what we all preferred that time. We had notepad, we had pen, we used to write down our task. And then once you have done a task, we just tick, done, task one, done, task two, done, and so on and so forth. That helps you also plan your day and not get distracted, because if we have too many things on our plate, then we tend to think that, okay, should I do that first or this first? And something else comes up on your email box, which might not happen very sooner for you. But still, if you follow this practice right from day one, uh, you will be able to see a huge amount of difference in the way you work, and your output and your productivity will be very different in that case. So writing down your task every day, what you have, and if you haven't finished them, then they'll be obviously carry forward to the next day. You can maintain a small diary, a pocket diary, or a notepad, whatever you have with you. So I would recommend to start with that first. Now, you might still have 1 or 2 years to go into the actual companies. Let's say a student who is in the first year is watching this video, then you can still start doing this for your daily studies or your daily college assignments or anything that you are going through. Like today, I have to attend 1, 2, 3, 4 lectures. Then I will be studying, say, for 2 hours on these topics. And then in the end, I will do XYZ things. So if you write those tasks right from your first year of college, you'll try to see that how your day is getting up accomplished, like how many items are you able to complete. And I definitely feel if you start doing this earlier, then you will see the results much better once you actually join the company. So the next part, what I would say is responsibility. Now, what do we actually mean by responsibility in terms of when it comes to office work? So there are different team members who are working together, right? In a team, there are 4 or 5 or 10 members. Doesn't matter how big or small the team is. But whatever work you're going to do, the output of that work is going to be used by someone else. So a very simple and a lame example I have given here is of a McDonald's or a Pizza Hut or any other food chain, let's say. So in a McDonald's franchisee, you order a Mac Aloo Tikki or a Mac Chicken Burger or whatever burger you want to order, and along with that, you have ordered fries and, let's say, some cold drink. Now, imagine if the person who is working there, they just are having the buns, the bread in the hand, and they're waiting for the patty, which is going to go inside. And the person who has the patty has not yet supplied to this person. So what will happen then? This person will be waiting, and he won't be able to fulfill your order. That's why there is a dependency, right? So one person's task output will be used by the other person, and they together complete that particular task or a project in this case. So in this case, a simple project is of giving you a burger. I'm not promoting McDonald's here, uh, but that example just came to my mind. Now I might have to rethink and then re-record this. I don't know if that is going to be the case, but this is a scenario, right? So we are trying to understand how a dependency can actually block a certain project to be completed. That's why, if you understand like the tasks that are given to you and what is the outcome the other team members are expecting from you, and are they going to wait for your output, so then in that case you need to be well informed like how sooner or fast you need to finish this. So working in a team environment, understanding what exactly each of us has those roles and responsibilities, when am I supposed to finish this and what will happen if I don't finish this on time, then the team ahead will be waiting for it and the deliveries might get affected. So as a fresher, you might feel this is not my job to think about, but imagine now out of those 100, 200 or 50 or 10 students or the freshers joining a company, you are the ones who understand, okay, these are my tasks. I'm supposed to finish this by, let's say, next 3 days. Once I finish this, I'll update the code or whatever things you're working on. I'll pass on to the team. I will update my senior or my manager or whoever is your lead that time, who is leading that module or a project, and see the difference then, because then they will understand, okay, this person knows their responsibility. They are giving a timely update, that if you're stuck somewhere, you're also giving an update. I'm stuck here, I don't know what to do next, I'm not getting a solution, or I'm stuck because of some technical issues. I need some softwares to be installed or some plugins or xyz whatever things, or you need something from the admin team. If you immediately report that to your senior or the one who's leading this project, that means you're very keen, you're responsible, that I have taken the ownership of doing this delivery of my module in the next 3 days, and I'm not going to have any excuse that I was waiting because of that uh, application is not working, or I haven't got xyz things, that's why I'm waiting. And this happens a lot, okay. This happens a lot of members I've seen in the past as well. They will keep on waiting for the approvals or the admin team to come and install or whatever things they are going to wait for. Uh, Ideally, I feel one has to be very proactive there. They need to follow up, take the ownership. The one who takes the ownership really is, I feel they will stand out always, everywhere. And you might see around you, even in your personal life, you will see this. So whatever we are going to talk here in these sessions, those are you can also relate them to your personal life, like the real life examples around you, within your family, outside your family, friends, college, anywhere. You see, there will be people who take responsibility, and you tend to like such people. If you go to a shop, they give you an extraordinary experience, then you remember that shop owner, or you remember that person who's working at that shop. You go to a restaurant, uh, someone who's serving the food to you, if they serve it quite well, you will remember that person, and you will tell it to so many people outside, like your friends, family, that this guy was really good. He took care. How he's serving, he's asking us, and so on and so forth. So responsibility matters a lot. I personally feel this, and we are not going to go into any debates who is doing what. There will be a lot many debates around youngsters not following things. I think this is for everyone. So we'll cover as many topics in the future, but this is what I mean by responsibility. So we have covered time management and productivity by the means of writing down your task list and then following up, not getting distracted in between. And we also saw an example there. So what is the next part I have seen here? I have also written that usually one tends to work. Ideally, our work hours are like 8 hours. As a professional, we are allocated for 8 hours, right? And we are getting paid according to that. So imagine you just focus and work for those 8 hours. You will be able to see a time, a huge amount of difference in the amount of output you give. Versus, let's say you just work for 1 or 2 hours and the rest of the time is distraction. Now, what do I mean by that? So if you have planned your work well, then you will be able to follow that list and finish it. Otherwise, in between, we might end up checking some reels or whatever, social media. You might go out on breaks, huge amount of breaks, and your colleagues might be doing something else, and you might think, yeah, why should I work? So I personally feel those distractions should be really kept aside, because what others do, I don't really care. Let them do what they want. What I want to do here is, I'm here to work for 8 hours. Let me put all my focus and energy here for the next 8 hours. And once I'm done, I'll just go and do the rest of the things that I like to do. You want to go for a workout, you go for a workout. You have done your workout in the morning. You want to go for a walk, whatever it is. If you're here for 8 hours, make sure that you focus and work for the 8 hours. If you do this consistently and regularly, I don't think you will have any backlog on your plate, meaning any of your tasks will be left incomplete. So here, focus is the key. Why people are not able to finish the work and they come under stress, and then there will be other things that will come into picture. Um, I think the only reason, even now and back then, was back then, 20 years back, social media was not that prevalent. I would say there were a couple of websites, not much, and we our mobile phones were also good enough, but not as uh, like the smartphones right now we have with so many apps. We did not have it back then. I would say like 2005. I'm talking about 20 years back, or yeah. So I think the focus was much more on the work that time. But yeah, we still had those long breaks. Some of the people used to take long breaks. But if you're focused, you know what items you are supposed to work on, and how you really want to finish it off. And then once you're done here, you will have your own time. So those things really matter a lot, how you plan your day and how you accomplish your task. Okay, now next part is, how can we achieve this, like the social media part we spoke about. So either you can put your mobile on a do not disturb, or any of the focus or any other mode that you set up, just allowing the important calls which are from your family, immediate family members, like your mom, dad, brother, sister, husband, wife, whatever it is, and focus on those 6 to 8 hours. But then right now we are also ordering a lot of stuff on the e-commerce platform. That's why we might get some notifications or calls. You need to plan that quite well. Like, if you have those deliveries coming up, then make sure that they are sent to either your address where there is someone to pick it up, even if you're not there, or there is an option leave at door, or then use the option of leaving it at your office place. But if you put your mobile on, uh, you will keep on getting all those calls all the time, right? And most of those calls are like useless, I would say. Spam calls, bank loan calls, credit cards, and this and that. That is really disturbing, because once you're focused, you want to finish a task, then these distractions really take your logic out of your head, so that flow is broken. I personally used to put my mobile on silent as well at times, and I used to not check anything. I mean, definitely that time we did not have the social media apps that much, like WhatsApp and all those apps were not there, so we're not getting any messages all the time. It was only either SMS or a call. And whenever I had to finish off my task, I used to make sure that I'll not check my mobile. It was like flipped, or it will be somewhere else away from me, so that I don't get those calls and messages. And even if I get them, I'll just finish them off. But those 2 3 hours, whenever I want to focus, I was like very deeply focused that time. So yeah, you can plan it this way. It will help you a lot. And then what is the next part I have remember written here? So one of the interesting thing that I have written is, you know, if you might get tempted to check social media in between, and what will happen next is, the thoughts will go in that direction, where someone has posted a nice reel and you're looking in that reel, and then you're planning for a trip or XYZ. Now imagine those people who are posting. We can call them as influencers or whatever we want to call them. They're getting paid for that work, and you're getting paid to work here on a laptop, finish off your project. So I'm not going to say I'm against all these things. You can watch all those social media reels or messages and post in your spare time. In that way, you know that you are at office for working, so you will not get distracted, and your thoughts will not go into that direction planning. Hey, I want to plan for that trip. So, your mind will start thinking about that. Uh, how will I book the flights? How will I go? How many days I'm going to go? When am I going to go? What will be the weather? Okay, which friends will be there with me? So all those thoughts will go in that direction. Now imagine you don't watch any of this social media post or forwards or messages, then you're not getting those thoughts, right? Your brain has not yet received that signal. So that's the trick. You can just stay away from using a mobile phone. And I have been following this trick for a long time. Whenever I'm focused, I just simply turn off the notifications. One can also delete the apps and you can go back and install if you want to. That will be a task every day. But but it's okay. I mean, if you don't want to do that hassle, then just put them on. The notifications would be off. And a lot of people use this. I'm not the only one, I would say. A lot of people use this, and it really helps. You will see a huge difference if you follow these tips. And if it doesn't work, then you feel free to follow your own techniques. But this is like a game changer. You will see a difference in your performance, productivity at work. You'll be super focused, less distracted, less stress. Uh, and we'll cover the topics later on as well, like what happens if do follow these steps versus if you don't follow the steps. We can also do a comparison, with real life examples as well. I'm just checking my notes so that I don't miss anything. So yeah, and multitasking is a myth, I would say, because I came across that word or a statement on one of the podcast or someone higher up, like the person you look up to, any person that you like. If it comes from that person, then it came from that person, I would say, something like that. So I personally never did multitasking much, but uh, because I used to always love to focus on one thing at a time. Maybe a slight multitasking might have been done at times, but I don't remember it much. But whenever I came across this statement, it really made me happy because I was indirectly following this unknowingly, I would say. Uh, and someone said this, then it really made me happy because I was on the right track then. That made me think about, like, in that direction. So humans are not made for multitasking, is what they have mentioned. And I will try to find out. If I find it out, I'll share, like, where did I come across this. But just think for a while. You can also try this. You do 10 things at a time and you see how your mind and brain behaves, how chaotic your life becomes, and you might not even enjoy that. Versus you just focus on one task at a time and see the difference. So, whatever we talk about here in this series, it's all experimental basis. I have practiced this for a long time and I have made small changes whenever I feel something is not working. You feel free to practice and um, make changes as per your own liking, and whatever works for you. So there is no hard and set rule. Our goal here is to make our life easy, better. And just imagine you work there for 6 7 hours with focus, have your lunch, have your whatever snacks, breakfast you want to have, work with full focus and deliver your output and go home, and you relax whatever you want to do. That's so simple. You get 2 days off, do things that you like, and evenings are for you. So then one might not have to stretch all the time. Sometimes there are deliveries we can't skip. That is what happened in our days as well. uh, and that all happens because of unplanned activities. So now imagine everyone around us is planning in a better way, then things like that might not happen. There is no slippage because one person is not delivering, that slippage goes on to the other, and that goes to the other, and so on and so forth. That's why there are delays in the deliveries. Imagine you are thinking ahead of time, like, how this application is going to roll out. Participate as much you can, and you will see a huge difference. All right. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll continue to cover as many topics we can, and let's grow together. I would really like to contribute and help as much possible. Thank you so much.